Hi again. This is the last video in my Christmas tree series, and I'm just going to show you today how to add a base if you're doing a bulkier tree. This is just 2 strands of yarn of the medium worsted weight size 4 yarn. If you use 1 strand, you're going to get a tree this size, and this is it, the finished one with a pot. And then this is pretty much not a whole lot bigger, but definitely you can see the difference in the size. And for this one, I'm not going to use the jar. I'm going to just use a base. And this one, I'm not going to decorate because I'm going to have it up probably longer, maybe even year-round. It'd be a nice little decoration. So it's worked the same way that this one is in the pattern as far as the tree and the branch, the core and the branches, but instead of a snow cap, you're just going to make, and this was the snow cap that the pattern makes, just use the same color of the tree that you're using and make a tree, another branch layer. So it's just going to look like that. And so we have a base for that one. We're going to make a base for this one today. These colors are Rustic. This one is Rustic Romantic Olive. It's by Yarn Bee. And this one is Yarn Bee Tender Touch Olive. This is a bulky one. And this is just a single strand of that bulky. I believe it's a size 5. And as far as the other items that you're going to need, we just need going to be using a hook that's size H, 5.0 millimeter. You got your scissors and a needle, and that's it. All right, for the base, we're just going to use 2 strands of the medium weight yarn, and that's going to make it bulkier. I'm going to do a magic ring, and you'll do 8 single crochet in a ring. So whether that's a magic ring or the alternative to the ring, you get to pick. So we'll do 8 single crochet in our ring. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Tighten up our ring. All right, and then we're just going to do an increase round. So we're going to do 2 stitches, 2 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So there's 8 stitches. Find our first one there. And we're just going to put 2 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. There's 1, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 6th, 7th, and then 2 in our last one. I'm going to go ahead and use a stitch marker for the next few rounds. All right, for our next round, we're going to do an increase after every 3 single crochets. So we're going to do 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third stitch. So that's 3. And then the next one, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And we just need to do that 3 more times. So one in the first, one in the second, one in the third, two in the next, one, 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 and then we've got two in this one, and we'll do it one more time. Two, three, and two in our last one. Now we're going to increase again, and depending on the size of the base of your tree, how it worked up, you may want to adjust, but we're just going to start with increasing one at a time. So we went an increase after every 3 for that round. Now we're going to do an increase after every 4 stitches. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 2 in the next one. And you're going to repeat that around 3 more times. All right, for this next round, we're going to increase again. So this time we'll increase after every 5 stitches. So you just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do our increase. So we do 2 in the next stitch. And you're just going to repeat that around. Now for the next round, we're just going to do a single crochet all the way around, but we're going to do it in the back loops only. So mark that. So here's our stitch with the front loop and the back loop. We don't want to go into the front loop, we want to go just in the back loop. Remember, we got 2 strands of yarn, so we want to make sure you're getting in both of those. And we're just going to do a single crochet all the way around and just grabbing those back loops all the way around. Then for the next round, you're just going to do a single crochet all the way around. And you can go in the back and front loops, both loops, for this round. You should have 28 stitches all the way around. Now we're just going to go around one more time And then we're going to try this little guy on for size. We just want to make sure this is going to fit around the base of our tree. Depending on your yarn, it could might make a difference. So, and it can be a pretty snug fit. So that's going to be fine. If you needed to make it bigger, you can add, before you do the back loop only round, you can do another round where you do an increase. And so the last round we did was 5 single crochet with an increase. So you do another round and you do 6 single crochet with an increase. Now keep in mind, it will stretch a little bit. So, and you can always stretch your yarn out a little bit too to make it a little bit bigger. So before you go making it bigger, just try stretching it and then try it again. So we want and depending on the yarn that you use too, it depends on how many rows you need to make your base. So we want a couple more rows for this one. So the size of I went around a couple of more times because this particular yarn is soft and kind of stretchy. And so the base of this tree is a lot bigger than this one. So when I just use this one's it's more thick, and the base of it was a lot shorter just because the yarn doesn't stretch after the core of this tree is stuffed. So instead of doing just a couple of rounds around the top, I went ahead and did 4 rounds after the back loop only round. So and then I cut a nice long tail because we're going to sew that to the bottom. Now I like to put, you don't have to, this is optional, but I like to put something in here to make it a little more solid, give it a little more make it a little more sturdy. And so I take a plastic lid from Butter Dish or Cool Whip or something, and this is cottage cheese, and you just cut the lid out. You can also use cardboard, but I like to use these little plastic lids because if they get wet, the cardboard wouldn't hold up to that. So we're just going to put our little piece down there in the bottom, and I think I need to make it a little bit smaller. Start with it too big, and you can always cut it down to size if you need to. We'll just put that down there in the bottom. And we're just going to slide it on. And then take our yarn needle. And we're just going to attach it to you've got the where the leaves are attached. We want to attach it to the core because it's a little more sturdy. So just going to go in there and pick up some stitches. Just go in there just like so. And then you come back through the pot You don't have to do every stitch. I do every other one, I guess. You're just going to go through the base. And then through the core of the tree. And then you're just going to do that all the way around. And just kind of secure your end a little bit by going through the same stitch a couple of times. And you can send it on through. There it is. You can just reposition your little piece of plastic down there, like so. That is the end of the Christmas tree series. So hope you enjoy making those, and I hope yours turns out well. And that's it for now. We'll see you on another video. Bye.